Good day, everyone. Today you will be informed about the legal basis in the Philippine educational system. This is Raquel F. Padilla, Teacher 3 of Bambang National High School, Division of Nueva Vizcaya. At the end of the session, the participants will be able to identify the legal basis of Philippine educational system and explain its importance. More specifically, the participants should be able to provide practical knowledge about the legal basis of Philippine educational system and its importance. Speak out personal experiences in Philippine educational system and distinguish some laws in protecting teachers, parents, and students in the Philippine setting. We have the major legal basis from the Philippine constitutions. We have first, 1935 Constitution, Article 14, Section 5. Second, 1973 Constitution, Article 15, Section 8, from 1 to 8. And third, 1987 Constitution, Article 14, Sections 1 to 5. The 1987 Constitutions, we have Article 14, Sections 1 to 5 will be discussed. So under Section 1, the state shall protect and promote the right of all the citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. Section 2, the state shall establish, maintain, and support a complete, adequate, and integrated system of education relevant to the needs of the people and society. Second, establish and maintain a system of free public education in the elementary and high school levels without limiting the natural rights of parents to rear their children. Elementary education is compulsory for all children of school age. So before they could go to high school, college, or higher education, every child needs to undergo their elementary grades first. 3. Establish and maintain a system of scholarship grants, student loan programs, subsidies, and other incentives which shall be available to deserving students in both public and private schools, especially to the underprivileged. Meaning to say, all deserving students should be granted with scholarships, especially if they are deserving. Next, encourage non-formal, informal, and indigenous learning system, as well as self-learning, independent, and out-of-school study programs, particularly those that respond to community needs. So we have the ALS, the Alternative Learning System, to cater those who could not make it in public institutions. Number 5, provide adult citizens, the disabled, and out-of-school youth with training in civics, vocational efficiency, and skills. So we should always look into the betterment of the disabled and out-of-school youth. Section 3, all educational institutions shall include the study of the Constitution as part of the curricula. Second, they shall inculcate patriotism and nationalism, foster love of humanity, respect for human rights, appreciation of the role of national heroes in the historical development of the country, teach the rights and duties of citizenship, strengthen ethical and spiritual values, develop moral character and personal discipline, encourage critical and creative thinking, broaden scientific and technological knowledge, and promote efficiency. They would always say that we should always be citizens who will abide the national laws, and one of which is our patriotism and nationalism. We should patronize whatever products we have in our country, and we should always foster love and respect other people because, as they say, knowledge without values would be useless. So we should always develop our character. Third, at the option expressed in writing by the parent or guardians, religion shall be allowed to be taught to their children or wards in the public elementary and high schools within the regular class hours by instructors designated or approved by the religious authorities of the religion to which the children or wards belong. Additional cost to the government. So religion is always important in the Philippine educational setting curriculum because in doing so, we are developing the moral and also the values towards our students. Section 4, number 1, the state recognizes the complementary roles of the public and private institutions in the educational system and shall exercise reasonable supervision and regulation of all educational institutions. Second, educational institutions other than those established by religious groups and mission boards shall be allowed solely by citizens of the Philippines or corporations or associations at least 60% of the capital of which is owned by such citizens. The Congress may however require increased Filipino equity participation in all educational institutions. The control and administration of educational institutions shall be vested in citizens of the Philippines. No educational institution shall be established exclusively for aliens, and no group of aliens shall compromise more than one-third of the enrollment in any school. The provisions of this subsection shall not apply to schools established for foreign diplomatic personnel and their dependents and unless otherwise provided by law for other foreign temporary residents. Meaning to say, public schools should not solely cater those aliens or foreigners, but these foreigners should also establish their own school in our country. 3. All revenues and assets of non-stock, non-profit educational institutions used actually, directly, and exclusively for educational purposes shall be exempt from taxes and duties. Upon the dissolution or cessation of the corporate existence of such institutions, their assets shall be disposed of in the manner provided by law. Proprietary educational institutions, including those cooperatively owned, may likewise be entitled to such exemptions subject to the limitations provided by law, including restrictions on dividends and provisions for reinvestment. So we have the Korean schools in our country, if you are aware. We are also benefited from those institutions. Number 4, subject to conditions prescribed by law, all grants, endowments, donations, or contributions used actually, directly, and exclusively for educational purposes shall be exempt from tax. Section 5, number 1, the state shall take into account regional and sectoral needs and conditions and shall encourage local planning in the development of educational policies and programs. So our LGU should also be supportive in all the programs in the Philippine educational system. Second, academic freedom shall be enjoyed in all institutions of higher learning. Yes, this is very true because academic freedom would give the freedom of expression among our students and also among the teachers as well as the parents. 3. Every citizen has the right to select a profession or course of study, subject to fair, reasonable, and equitable admission and academic requirements. So, as citizens of the Republic of the Philippines, shall be allowed to select his own profession regardless of the status in life. We should not dictate whatever profession this individual would pursue in his academic profession. 4. The state shall enhance the right of teachers to professional advancement. Non-teaching academic and non-academic personnel shall enjoy the protection of the state. Okay, so in this regard, the right of teachers to professional advancement is very rampant because as teachers, we should not stop from learning. We have graduate studies, and after graduate studies, we should not stop from learning from the seminars, trainings given by the different associations in our academy. 5. The state shall assign the highest budgetary priority to education and ensure that teaching will attract and retain its rightful share of the best available talents through adequate remuneration and other means of job satisfaction and fulfillment. Of course, this is very important because if we do such things, we shall be able to be supplied with the necessary materials. We also have the Batas Pambansa Bilang 232 or the Education Act of 1982. This was an act providing for the establishment and maintenance of an integrated system of education. In accordance with Section 2, this act shall apply to and govern both formal and non-formal system in public and private schools in all levels of the entire educational system. As provided by this act, the national development goals are as follows. First, to achieve and maintain an accelerating rate of economic development and social progress. 2. To assure the maximum participation of all the people in the attainment and enjoyment of the benefits of such growth. Every individual should enjoy his academic life. And number 3, to achieve and strengthen national unity and consciousness and preserve, develop, and promote desirable cultural, moral, and spiritual values in changing world. So in this regard, we should not be questioning the cultural affiliations of a certain individual who is enrolled in a certain institution. It is also stated in Section 3 that the state shall promote the right of every individual to relevant quality education, regardless of sex, age, creed, socio-economic status, physical and mental conditions, racial or ethnic origin, political or other affiliation. The state shall therefore promote and maintain equality of access to education as well as the benefits of education by all its citizens. So the Philippine educational system should not be choosing who will be enrolled in their school because we are very open to possibilities like the gender of one individual, the age. That's why there are still those who are overage who still would like to pursue their education. So we could not question all of these things. And most especially the economic status of an individual should not be a hindrance in education. And also the physical and mental condition, racial and ethnic, and also political affiliations. So everybody, education is for everybody in the Philippine educational system. So we have here the right of students in school. Number 1, the right to receive competent instruction, relevant quality education. Okay, so competent instruction in the sense that teachers should not be tired in providing quality education to students. Second, the right to freely choose their field of subject to the existing curricula and continue their course up to graduation, except in cases of academic deficiency or violations of disciplinary regulations. Of course, there will always be sanction, especially if students had committed violence or committed with misconduct in school. Of course, they will be sanctioned with disciplinary action or sanctions. Number 3, the right to school guidance and counseling services. In the Philippine educational system, we are provided with guidance counselors. So this is very important because students nowadays are that reluctant in solving their problems in their own ways. So we should always guide them. They are not that receptive to hard problems, critical problems. So at times we should always guide them. Number 4, the right to access to his own school records and the confidentiality of it. Of course, if a student is not that satisfied with the grade given to him, we teachers are open regarding our records, and as always, we should show it to those who really would like to evaluate it. Number 5, the right to issuance of official certificates, diplomas, transcript of records, grades, transfer credentials, and similar document within 30 days from requests. We have the right to ask for our own certificates and other credentials in the school which we are affiliated to. So that is one of our rights as students. Number 6, the right to publish a student newspaper and invite resource persons during symposia, assemblies, and other activities. Okay, in every school, we are already aware about this, as newspaper is provided, and in this we are oriented and we are updated with the school activities and other functions. Number 7, the right to free expression of opinions and suggestions and to effective channels of communications with appropriate academic and administrative bodies of the school or institutions. Number 8, the right to form or establish, join, and participate in organizations and societies recognized by the school, or to form, join, and maintain organizations and societies for purposes not contrary to law. Okay, each student has the right to join any organizations in school, provided this organization is not violating any governed laws in school. Like fraternities, of course, this is not allowed in high school, but in some colleges, this may be accepted already. But in high school, it's a big no-no. Number 9, the right to be free from involuntary contributions, except those approved by their organizations and societies. Yes, because we have free public education, and as much as possible, we should not be asking a lot of contributions from our parents and students. We also have here the right of all school personnel, as indicated in Section 10. 1. Free expression of opinions and suggestions. 2. To be provided with free legal service by the appropriate government office in case of public school personnel and the school authorities concerned in case of private school personnel when charged in administrative, civil, and/or criminal proceedings by parties other than the school authorities concerned for actions committed directly in the lawful discharge of professional duties and/or in defense of school policies. So as teachers, we are also given free legal service. That is one of our privileges. Number 3, establish, join, maintain labor organizations of their choice to promote their welfare and defend their interests. Of course, we have the right to also defend our own interests. Number 4, to be free from involuntary contributions except those imposed by their own organizations. So, as employees in the Philippine educational system, we too have our own contributions. We also have special rights and/or privileges of teaching or academic staff as indicated in Section 11. So, for the first one, right to be free, compulsory assignment not related to their duties, defined in their appointment or employment contracts, unless compensated thereof. Additional compensation, Section 14, Republic Act 4670, at least 25% of his regular remuneration. Okay, so we have the right for an additional compensation when we are given additional tasks not related to our duties that is defined in our appointment or employment contract. Second, right to intellectual property. So we are also given the authority to have our intellectual property, like making our own books, our own modules, or other innovations like strategic intervention material. So that is one of our rights too. Number 3, teachers are persons in authority when in lawful discharge of duties and responsibilities, shall therefore be accorded due respect and protection, as seen in Commonwealth Act number 578. Okay, so teachers are persons in authority, but we should not also abuse this one because sometimes we are also not secured with this law when we are abusive of our duties and responsibilities. In order for people to respect us, We should always be a person who is considered a professional figure at all times. And number 4, teachers shall be given opportunity to choose career alternatives for advancements. We also have here the rights of administrators as evident in section 12. So our administrators are our bosses, our leaders. Are they good? Do we always respect them? Or are we antagonistic? So this is their right. Number 1, school administrators shall be deemed persons in authority while in the lawful discharge of their duties and responsibilities shall be accorded due respect and protection. That is imbibed in Commonwealth Act number 578. So they are in higher authority. We should also give due respect to them, and whatever is their sanction in the educational system, we should also somehow follow them. We also have here the rights of schools that is embodied in section 13. Number 1, the right of their governing boards to adopt and enforce administrative or management systems. Okay, they have also the right to provide their own management system. So whatever good things they think is better for the school, then it should be followed. Number 2, the right of institutions of higher learning to determine on academic grounds who shall be admitted to study, who may teach, and who shall be the subjects of the study and research. So this refers to our academic grounds, especially our research system. Maintenance of quality education. We also have the number 1, voluntary accreditation in section 29. So these are just additional information regarding how to maintain our quality education. If you are willing to look into this, you may browse number 1, voluntary accreditation, section 29. Number 2, teachers and administrators' obligations and qualifications under sections 176 and 17. And number 3, government financial assistance to private schools, which is seen in section 41. Okay, so with this, let me leave you this message. We may be free as a bird in our pursuit of education, but we should always remember that behind this freedom, there are also certain laws and standards to abide with. And with this, I hope I have made myself clear to all of you, dear participants, about the legal basis of the educational system here in the Philippines. Thank you very much for listening. Let's stay safe all the time. Thank you and God bless.